40s. But you know what? What could be nicer on a cold day or night than fresh baked bread in your own kitchen? But you're not having to worry about doing any of the hard work because Breadman's bread machine is doing all the heavy lifting. Dawn Madgett is here, and speaking of great things she made in the Breadman, I understand you made fresh rolls.
Of course I did, David.
Mwah.
How are you?
Hello,
Hi,
gorgeous.
everybody. These are amazing. The Breadman makes everything perfect. I'm going to take them down here.
Well, let's take a look. I want the camera to see these because they're gorgeous. You made the dough for these dinner rolls. These are yeast rolls, yeah?
I made the dough this morning before I got here. I very carefully got it here warm, and then we rolled them up and we made them right now. And look at how beautiful these
Gorgeous.
are. What I want to explain is that the way the Breadman works, you can bake in the vessel. You can be so creative.
And is this your yeast roll?
This is just a basic dinner roll. The recipe's in there. It literally takes you a few minutes to put together. You hit a couple buttons and you are done. The Breadman does all the work for you. How great are they?
Perfect.
That's what I love. Baking is hard. Baking is a science. Baking, you have to be specific and do everything they say. When you're using the Breadman, it does all the hard work and takes all the guessing out of it. Now, I want to get a nice loaf of white bread out for you, David, because I know you love this. But look at how beautiful this is. Look at how nice and high it is. We get to choose the size of the loaf. We get to choose the color. We get to choose everything that we want to do. The paddle actually, see the paddle inside here? This actually falls down so you don't get that big hole like you used to.
Oh, great.
It has a fruit and nut dispenser. The Breadman thought of everything. Honestly, this is just so nice. But
so if you like
this.
just a classic loaf of white bread, you can make that. If you want to buy, now it comes with some recipes, yes?
85 recipes.
85 recipes. But if you want to go out and buy maybe a boxed cake mix, like a bread machine bread mix,
Right.
you can do that as well. No problem, no concern. So these are marvelous. And you can also see that this is still very warm.
Which is why it's falling apart
Which
on
is
us.
why it's getting a little bit mushy there in the middle. But that's okay because now I've never turned it down. This
No,
is
it's nice and
extraordinary. And you
soft.
get some butter on there, some room temperature butter on there, so it's nice and spreadable. Maybe your fresh homemade jams and jellies, or maybe a little honey. Oh, delightful. Or make your own grilled cheese sandwich out of this bread.
Which, you know what? Your sandwiches taste so different. It's, you know what? The bread makes it. And that is so good. So whether you're making stews, whether you're making soups, it's that time of year. You need the bread to go with it. I made a stew the other day. If it wasn't for the bread, it would have just been beef stew. But with the bread, it was just amazing. It was so good. I want to show you all the options that we have on this. So here you see that we have, it's just very simple to use. You have loaf size, menu size, bake only, and the color of the crest. So I'm going to go through the menu with you. So what I do is I simply hit this. Number 1 is white bread. 2 is white rapid bread, meaning it's going to be quicker. Then you have whole wheat bread, whole wheat rapid, French rapid. Then you have quick breads, low carb breads, gluten-free breads. Then you have your doughs, which is what I use to make those dinner rolls. Artesian doughs, which takes a little bit more time. Jam and preserves and chutneys. You can make them in here.
You
Amazing.
can make them all inside.
Bake only, and then wait again. But then you get to choose your loaf size. Do you want a 1 pound loaf, a 1.5 pound loaf, or a 2 pound loaf? And then you also get to choose your crust color. I like a darker crust. My husband likes it lighter, so I usually go in between. But you can do all that. And why don't we make some pizza dough? So to make this, it really is a dump process. So we put the measured water in there, then we put some oil in here. Now we're going to add some sugar. We're going to add some salt. And you just follow the order in which they give it to you. Then we're going to add our bread flour. And you add that right in. Whoops. Add that right in there. And then, yeah, exactly. We got it all over. And then your yeast goes in last. What you do from there is you put your lid down. Whoops.
And notice the yeast was separated from the liquid by the dry flour.
Which is what you wanted to do. See, that's the science part of it. It's going to warm it up too, so it knows to do that. So now I'm going to go to my menu, and I want to go to dough. And dough is number 11.
Okay.
So we're going to go down to number 11. And we're going to hit start. I am going to be able to make amazing strombolis for the big games tonight. It's going to work that easy. Hear it? It's now mixing everything around.
Well, and you know what? It's also award season. There's a big award show tonight.
You think?
Hollywood's biggest night will be coming up, I guess, in March sometime. We got the big game coming up in February. You want to make your own homemade pizzas and strombolis. Great way to begin.
It is.
This is extraordinary. What do you have here, dear?
This is the time of year. And right here, I forgot to show you earlier. This has a fruit and nut dispenser. Remember when we showed you that those pecan and apricot? We put them in the fruit and nut dispenser. What that means is it's going to wait till the dough's at the right spot. Then it's going to incorporate lopsided. It does that so that you get the ingredients all through the bread. It's not going to go into the top. Now, what we did here is we bought one of those packaged breads and we got the whole wheat. And what we did to the whole wheat is we added dried cherries and we added dark chocolate. And look at this bread. Look at how amazing this is. It is so good. Do you want to pass me some butter, David?
Of course.
And I'm going
Which
to
one
butter
would
you
you
up
like?
a piece. Should we do the plain and then add a little honey for you? I think that's kind of how you like it.
This is honey butter, isn't it?
Yes, that is. You can get them already combined.
Try that. There we go.
All right, so let's get you some bread and butter over here. And this is so good. But look at this. Look at how delicious this is. Look at how it melts.
And you said this is a chocolate bread?
Yes, what we did is we used a box bread.
Oh.
And then we just added some dark chocolate.
Here we
added
go.
some dried cherries. And wait till you taste that.
It's dessert.
It is dessert, and it's so delicious. That is so, so good. It's one of my family's favorites. And you know what? You don't have to think about this. Most of the ingredients that
Oh,
go
this
in,
is amazing.
isn't that good?
So good.
But most of the ingredients that go into bread you have anyhow. Think about it. You have oil, you have flour, you have sugar. You just have to get a little jar of yeast, and you are ready to make homemade bread any day of the week.
I am
Is that
now
great?
a lover of chocolate bread, homemade chocolate bread.
Is that the best? These are so, so good. But I can tell you, like, if you're going to all the trouble to make the soups and the stews, you need the bread to go with it, people, because that makes all the difference in the world.
Now, imagine if you're doing a delicious beef barley soup. Maybe you'll do an herbed bread and dip in that. Wouldn't that be nice?
But look at how the cherries were incorporated through here. Look at the nuts and the dried fruit. That's because of the front. Can we say fruit and nut dispenser? Excuse me.
The fruit and nut
That is
dispenser.
exactly why.
I've had 2 weeks off. I've got my
So
tongue
your
unwrapped from
tongue's
my eye
better?
teeth.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Yeah, it's rested.
So because David mentioned it, and because everybody wants some spaghetti and meatballs tonight, we need the Italian cheese loaf. Recipes included, but David.
This is an Italian cheese loaf.
Oh, smell this.
Oh my.
I mean, you
Let
have
me
to,
get
yeah.
a whiff of that.
Go ahead, grab
First
it.
of all, it's warm. Hello.
And you've got it's got a bite to it. It's got the chewy crust, the soft center, everything you
Smell
want
the
in it.
cheese. Oh,
You can do pizza doughs. Probably my machine makes more pizza dough than anything else.
darn, everything is better than the last thing you gave me.
Isn't
to
it
sample.
incredible?
It's so good.
And I want to show you because that's just the beauty.
Now check this out. Here's some homemade pizza dough. And can you freeze pizza dough?
Yes, you can. So what I do is I gently oil some, plastic wrap.
Yeah.
I cut it in 2 pieces and I put it in the freezer ready to go. I also send them to my son's house in the city so he has pizza dough ready to go.
Nice.
Love that. So, but the thing is look at the ingredients we added. We added flour, water, oil, salt. It was that easy. So you can dump this in and this only takes about 90 minutes for the entire process to be ready to go.
And my loaf sizes are?
1 pound, 1.5 pounds, and 2 pounds. Now, when I make pizza dough, I've never made anything less than 2 pounds. Why would you?
Well, yeah, because if you have the leftovers, you freeze it, right?
You freeze it and you put it away, and it's good in the refrigerator. You do have to know that when it's at room temperature, it's going to keep on expanding and expanding.
So you have
because
to punch it down.
it's that beautiful yeast that we want. And this is the stuff that was always so intimidating for me, that yeast, and that it needs to know when to rest, when to beat it, when to knead it, when to get it
And
a
you know
little
what
bit
I need?
warmer.
I need an assistant in the kitchen that can do all that. You know what my
That's
assistant's
exactly.
called? The Breadman. Yeah, because you know what? I don't have that kind of time or that
Nope.
patience in the kitchen, and I'd probably end up with dough that would overtake the whole kitchen and me and
Yes.
the rest of the neighborhood. This is why you want to be able to take advantage of a machine that has a brain and can do the job for you. We're right in the middle of that season, and if this early snowfall
Yes.
is any indication of what our winter's going to be like,
We need this.
we're like 75 days away from spring, boys and girls. We've got a whole lot more cold weather to
We
make it through.
certainly do.
And I'll tell you what, when I woke up I got off the airplane last night and it took my breath away when I stepped onto the jetway because that's where you get that blast of cold air right off the airplane. And then when I got home and woke up this morning, it was 1 degree.
Ooh, that's nasty.
I have a little thermometer thing outside my window and it was struggling to get past 0.
It is, and that's
Crazy.
just it. Now think about this, getting up in the morning and making this and tasting this. And like I said, it's no preparation. Breadman did all the hard work for you and you get all the accolades. I took this over to my friend's house, Bill,
Wow.
and he has Soup Saturday, where
What
he
is
makes
this,
pots
darling?
of all different soups. This is a blueberry lemon, and I put
Oh,
this
yum.
recipe on my Facebook page. So simple, so delicious. But do you feel the lemon zest in there?
Yes.
Taste the blueberries.
And the big plump blueberries and then this jam on top is so nice.
Isn't that nice? And you can see everything is incorporated throughout.
Imagine, thank you,
Thank
Angel.
you, David.
Mwah.
Enjoy
Appreciate
your
you.
bread.
Thank you. This is also
We'll
good.
be